Alright guys, I'm back out here this morning. Yesterday evening I just went ahead and got these pickets up on this section of fence here. This is as far as I can go on it right now because I'm out of metal post, and I don't think my post will be here till either the end of this week or the middle of next week. But anyways, that's as far as I can go on it right now. I did have to go to Lowe's over the weekend and pick up some more 2x to finish my rails out, because the ones they sent me, I had 4 16-footers left and they're too warped to use on the fence. So while I was over there, I picked up enough material. I picked up some 1x6s to enclose this side of the carport off here. I got some 1x6s that are 10 foot long, and I'm just going to run them horizontal across here instead of vertical. I think it'll match the building a little bit better. So that's what we're going to get started on right now. Alright, so what my plan is here, I've got those warped 2x4s over there. I'm going to take and cut them down to I think 66 inches, which will get me just right above my metal here. So I need to cut, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I need to get 6 of them cut down to 66 inches tall, which is going to be right, just, it's going to put me right above the where my metal roof comes down. These legs are 5 foot apart. So these are 5 foot on centers. I got 10 foot 1x6s, so I'm gonna rip my 2x4s in half, and I'm gonna screw them to the legs, and then they'll give me something to nail my 1x6s to. Alright, I don't know how well the camera's gonna pick up how crooked these things are, but they're pretty bad. So I'm gonna take my circular saw, and I'm gonna cut. I need 6 of them, so I'll rip them right in half. So I need 3 of them 66 inches long. So I'm gonna try to find enough material here to get that. I don't know how good the camera will pick it up, but that's just like a 4 foot section there, and it's already, look like a banana. Alright, so I got 3 pieces there, 66 inches long, so let's take them in there at table saw and see if we can't rip them in half. Alright guys, as I'm feeding that through there, it's wanting to pinch my blade, so it's got so much tension in there I can't push it through there. I've been having to pull it out and recut my kerf here. So to keep that from pinching on my blades, I'm going to take my screwdriver here, kind of push that in there to separate that, to keep it from pinching my blade right here. I'll see if that works. Alright, so all of them was pinching together. You can kind of see what they look like after I got them cut out. Some of them a little worse than others, but I think they'll work. I have to clamp them to get them screwed in there, but so they all separated. warped. I think we'll make it work though. Maybe by the time I clamp them up there and get screws in them, maybe they'll straighten up a little bit. We'll find out. These are the screws I'm going to be using. They're self-drilling screws, wood to metal, and it says they'll go from 18 gauge up to quarter gauge. So we're going to try them. They're 2 3/4 inch length. Alright, so I got them cut and ripped down, so I went ahead and pre-drilled 4 holes in them. I just got this little scrap chunk of little cut off that's about 1/4 inch thick. I'm going to put in there just to elevate them a little bit. That way if water gets underneath there, it'll have room to dry out or drain out. But I'm just going to flush them up with the outside. That way when I come back with my other boards, I can just go straight, be flush to the outside. I'm just going to pre-drill a hole and then run them screws in there. Just like that. Get to do that 5 more times. Alright, so here's what it looks like. I just run 4 screws in there, and I just run them where they's kind of flush with the, it's just kind of flush with them. I didn't countersink them in there too far, but kept it flush on the outside here because that's where my boards are going to go. I still need to come in here. I left this picket off right here. I set this up where that picket is 5.5 right there. So I need to come back. I need to rip another 2x2 down, or I need to rip another 2x2 to fit right here. That way I can close this off with my pickets here, and my other rails will come in. My other rails will come in here. So I just flush it up all the way down, and then you can see I left that gap down there to give a chance for water to run out. So I'm going to do that 5 more times on each one of these posts, and then I may have to do something a little bit different down there where that trim is. We'll see when I get down there. So this post right here, I don't really have a way to clamp it and make sure it's flush with the outside of the rail down there. So I just took my combination square here and set it up to where it's going to be the same. I'm just going to keep it the same distance from here the best I can. I already took and pre-drilled my top hole and put my screw in there. So now I'm just going to try to come back through here and see if I can get this to be straight pretty much. I'm just going to keep the center wheel down here. Maybe it'll work out. We'll find out. Well, I'm going to have to go get some longer screws. These 2 3/4 ain't long enough. I'm going to need like probably 3 1/2 there. I didn't account for the thickness of that tin. So I won't be able to get this last one on there. I'll have to go get longer screws. Alright, well, it's still cool this morning. And before I go get screws to put that last nailer piece on, I'm going to go ahead and go ahead and see what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to go grab my 10-foot pieces, and I may set them up off the bottom, maybe 1.5 inches. I'll take some scrap 2x and put underneath there and just lay them on that, and I'll measure out my tin here and make sure I'll keep it even with my tin. That way, if I go all the way to the top, it'll be nice and straight with the tin. Alright, so I'm just mocking this up here. I just got it clamped up there for now. I've got it sitting on some scrap pieces of 2x4 to keep an even gap across the bottom. I think I'm just going to come through here with some screws and temporarily screw that in, and I'll stack a few of them up and see what it's going to look like. Alright, so I think this is what I'm going for here. I'm going to stop them about 8 inches from the top. I was going to go up 48 inches or 4 foot tall, but I decided to space these out a little farther and stretch them up to the about an 8-inch gap. It's 56 inches off of each end. So I measured up 56 from this end down here and 56 to the end down there, and just pulled the string line. Pulled the string line real tight and mark my measurements here. That way I keep a nice straight line, and it's going to be about the same 8 to 8 1/4 inches from the tin down to the wood. So it'll be a 1x6, 1.5 gap, and a 1x6 all the way down. I'm going to start tacking these up there and see what it looks like. Alright, so I got all them tacked into place. I think that's where I like it right now. I didn't want it completely solid. I wanted a little bit of airflow through there, and mainly just blocked it off to keep the dog in the yard for one thing, but I still wanted to see a little bit see through it a little bit, but a little bit of privacy also. I think that'll work pretty good. I may, if my wife wants to, I'm gonna let her look at it. I'm gonna leave it right there for now until she gets back this evening, and I'll ask and see what she thinks. As of right now, I'm gonna leave it like that. I may add one more board to it. I don't know. I didn't really want to go all the way up, but with it being I left an 1.5 inch gap in between them, I may go ahead and go all the way up with it. One more board anyways. I'll show you what it looks like from in here. So I think that'll work pretty good. Still have a little bit of privacy there, but it's enclosed enough the dog can't get through there. So I'm gonna leave it right there. I need to go get some screws to attach this. The screws I have are 2 3/4, but I wasn't accounting for the thickness of that metal right there. So I need to go get at least some 3-inch screws to go through there, or 3.5 if I can find them. So I'll go get screws to do that, and I'll finish this off this evening, I think. Once it starts cooling back down, I run out of shade again. It's not bad underneath the carport, but out there in the sun, it's getting hot. Anyways, that's where I'm leaving off right now. We measured the distance yesterday that I needed. I need to cut them down to 117.5. So I've still got my boards in the shop over there, so I'm going to set up my miter saw and get these cut to 117.5, and I'll start hanging this up this morning. I'm back on it this morning. This is where I left off yesterday. I needed to go get some screws to attach that nailer. I went and done that yesterday evening, so I got my nailer attached there, and they only had 3-inch screws, so I had to recess those in there quite a bit to grab a hold of that tube behind there. One thing I do want to mention, yesterday when I set this side up, I started at the top and used the 1.5 inch spacer. Well, by the time I made it down here to the bottom, I was almost touching right there. So to fix that, let me come around here to the back side. So instead of starting at the top and using them spacers, these top 2 boards was pretty good, but you can see right here, I put maybe the camera will pick it up, but I put a mark right there. We ended up coming back through there and measuring up every 7 inches and putting a mark, and that's where the top of my boards are going to be, and that lined up a whole lot better. So I didn't mark this side because I'm just going to flush them up with those boards there, but you can see on this side here, maybe I got a mark every 7 inches down through here, and that's where the top of my board's going to go. So I just got all them cut, so I'm going to bring them over here and clamp one end up, and then get them screwed up there. So I've got my boards brought over here. I'm fixing to start screwing them on there. I think I'm going to start at the bottom and work my way up. So I just got my 2x on that end just to kind of help hold it up. This end over here, I'll pick up, level up with the board, and screw them in place. Alright, so I'm just gonna stack them up like that right there. Alright, I got the last rail put up there, or last board. I think it's gonna work pretty good. I think I will, after looking at it. It's got like an 8.5 inch gap there. So by the time I put another board in there, it should have about the same gap up here as it will at the bottom. So I may go through there and add. I'll go get 2 more boards and put up there later when I make another trip to town. I think it works pretty good. I think it's just enough privacy, plus you can still see through there if somebody's coming up or whatever, so I think it'll work. Take you around the other side. So yeah, I think that'll work. This is kind of what it's going to look like from the road. I mean, just a little bit of privacy there, but you can still see through it. So I think that part's finished. I think I'll go in there now that I got access to my table saw. I can finish this corner up right here and get that picket, get this end of the carport, get this corner closed in here, and then I'm still waiting on a post to finish the rest of my fence. Alright, I think that's going to be it for this section of the fence. Not a very big project, just in closing the side of the carport here, but I'm waiting on my steel post to come in so I can get started back on finishing the actual privacy fence. I had the material here to do this, so I went ahead and done it while I'm waiting on that other stuff. So kind of went as far as I can go right now, so when everything else comes in, I'll jump back on the privacy fence. But for now, I think that's going to be it. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button down below if you don't mind. And thanks for watching.